Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to another episode of the Penalty Box with your host, Kalal Oakman. Tonight, we have unbelievable results from the games played on Tuesday night. Unbelievable. I'm talking shockers, real shockers. We also have a couple news submitted by our fans, the viewers. That's right, you viewers have helped out the Penalty Box and given us some tips about some news that's going on around the league. We'll get to more of that in a minute. But first, I have to give a shout out to one of the hottest teams in the NHL currently within the VHL. And that, brace yourselves folks, is the Florida Panthers. That's right, the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers have made a splash in the trade department. They picked up a trade between them and Ottawa, and they got Cro-Mags from Ottawa. You may know him from Frankie and BP, the radio show. Well, ever since they picked up Cro-Mags, they went on a terror. Now, this is a team that started 0-9 to begin the season. Since last week, they've gone 7-2 in their last 9 games. 7-2 in their last 9 games. And they beat Phoenix. They had 2 games that went into overtime. One went to double overtime against the Rangers. They've been duking it out with everybody. And tonight, they beat the Phoenix Coyotes, one of the hottest teams in the West. They beat them 3-1. Now, currently, the Florida Panthers are 11th in the East with 28 points and are making strides as they climb the ladder and try and make a playoff spot. They still have time left. There's plenty of hockey left to play, folks. We'll be right back after this quick short break with more information about what's going on around the VHL tonight. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, as I said in the opening segment, the Florida Panthers are on a tear. But let's get to the 4 games that we mentioned earlier in the previous episode. The games we are going to be watching closely tonight. And the first game on the docket is Edmonton versus Boston at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. The rematch. Last time Edmonton faced Boston, they lost 6-0. They were blown out of the water. Boston is one of the hottest teams in the VHL right now. They are number 1 in the league currently in the NHL. However, tonight, Boston jumped out to an early 3-0 lead. Going into the third period, Boston was led in scoring by Bacon Delta Sig, who had a hat trick. Time Bomb had a goal, and Hellrift had 3 assists. Hellrift is just a shooting machine. Now, you would think Boston would be able to shut down Edmonton. No, Edmonton didn't quit, though. Edmonton still had that heart, that desire, the fire to bring it back to Boston, and they made a close game. They scored 3 goals in the third period and gave Boston fans a near heart attack. That's right, the Cardiac Kids from Alberta, Canada, the Edmonton Oilers, made it close, but were not victorious. Boston wins 4-3. Grogan got the win for Boston, facing 21 shots and made 18 saves. Boston's second game against the defending Stanley Cup champs, things did not go so well for Boston. Going into Joe Louis Arena, Boston was utterly destroyed by Detroit, 7-1. Detroit jumped out to an early 2-0 lead. Boston tries to cut the lead in half, scoring a goal in the second, but then Detroit answers and scores 3 unanswered in the second period, followed by 2 more goals in the third. For Boston, Peterson got the goal. Grogan faced 19 shots, made 12 saves. Detroit brought out their A-line. Satchmo Davis, Tiny, Jagged Alibi, and Moke 24 for life, and Paralyzer in net. Satchmo Davis had a goal and 2 assists. Tiny had 2 assists. Jagged Alibi had a hat trick and an assist. And Moke 24 for life had a hat trick and an assist. Paralyzer stopped 9 shots out of 10. He only let in 1 goal. Detroit was a poke-checking machine in that game. I was able to talk to Ricochet after the game, and he said it was unbelievable. Every single bouncing puck went onto a Detroit stick, and it found the way into the back of the net. Detroit was a poke-checking machine. Tiny has really reworked that team. Ever since Satchmo Davis came back from IR, this team is hot. I mean, they're picking up right where they left off last year when they lifted Lord Stanley's Cup. Now, on to the next game after this quick short break. Don't go away. Welcome back, folks. And tonight, one of our key matchups was a rivalry game. And yes, some of my critics may say that I covered Toronto a little too much. Well, guess what? Shut up! Because this is a rivalry game. Calgary, Toronto. Bad blood between the two of them. Absolutely no love lost. The last 2 times Calgary faced off against Toronto, they were sent packing. I mean, packing. They had sunburn. Fans were giving out sunglasses in the second game because the red light would not shut off. Toronto scored 9 goals in one game, beat them 9-3, and then beat them 7-1 in the other game. That's 16 goals in just 2 games that Toronto scored. Before this, before the trade for Bert and Ernie, Toronto had a hard time putting the puck, this little thing, in the back of the net. Well, this little thing found its way in the back of their net with their goaltending issues, but then all of a sudden, the mighty giant in Toronto was awakened, and they beat up on Calgary. This game was no different. No, it wasn't a blowout game by any means like the other two, but Toronto came out firing, absolutely dominating the play. Calgary had 1 shot in the first period. 1 shot. After the first period, it was 1-0 Toronto, and then in the second period, Toronto doubled the score by going up 2-0. Toronto at one point looked like they were on the power play, yet it was even strength 5-on-5. For 4.5 minutes, they had the puck in the zone, just peppering the Calgary goalie. Toronto ended up winning the game 4-0, behind Bert and Ernie, Falcon 2009, and Hudler. The new offensive line for Toronto was working, and they had Darth Forsberg in defense, along with June. I forget his name. I apologize, June. I can't remember your name. It's kind of hard to say. June and Forsberg made a tandem of defensemen that were just on fire that night. On fire. Bert and Ernie had 2 goals and 2 assists with 4 points. Falcon had a goal and an assist and a fight loss. He dropped the gloves later in the game. Darth had 2 assists, 5 minutes, and a fight win. He duked it out first with Calgary. One of the guys was chirping at Bert and Ernie, and Darth took offense to it. And Hudler had a goal and an assist. DJ Sin, a new goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs, had a 7-save shutout. That's right. Toronto gave up 7 shots total. That's domination. Unfortunately, Calgary's stat keepers were a little slow to get their stats in. And now on to the final game, which I would have to say is a pretty huge upset. I'm talking Clash of the Titans. You had the New Jersey Devils going up against the Phoenix Coyotes. The Phoenix Coyotes flat out crushed the Devils. 6-0. Phoenix came out firing, scoring 4 goals in the first period, and then an additional 2 goals in the second. Bombay had 7 penalty minutes for the New Jersey Devils. He tried to fight, dropped the gloves, got his butt kicked. Crusher didn't really do much either. Hockey joined, hockey showing, not much to say there either. Matt the Cool Cat had 20 penalty minutes. 20! 5 minors and 2 fights. Did he win those fights? No, he lost those fights. Nothing was going right for the New Jersey Devils tonight. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Jerry Singh faced 28 shots, made 22 saves. Phoenix, on the other hand, with their Ferrelli line, that's Tony Ferrelli and Kenny Ferrelli. Tony Ferrelli had 2 goals and 1 fight win. Kenny Ferrelli had 2 goals and an assist, and Gun Monkey had 1 goal, 2 assists, 12 penalty minutes, and 2 fight wins. Ferrelli had a fight win also. Berto had a goal and an assist, and Shuett made an 11-shot shutout. 11 shots. Flat out dominating. And that's tonight's recap.